Whoa, look at this. It's unbelievable how we come to track system locations, meet refractoring line interference. This is how we come into high level systems. I gave you through program line interference to understand what's going through channels to the operation line conditions. Welcome, Chris. I notice you're new to line conditions. Your unique track line system is in a body track location. The energy and its rotation positions understand the ground and its line interference to understand who comes on and who is new and who isn't. It's all positioned to all calculations of a list. That's a vector core unit line center. It's connected to the galactic energy core line system. Rotations in its quadrant levels, high rise in its position locations. But you have any questions or comments, Chris? Let me know. You put you in your activation body and communication line centers, put everybody in that connection line connections. This is my team, the Galactic Connection Line System to the Rebellion Alliance, and everything through the Galactic Forces and the GFLs, the Galactic Federation of Light Councils. So in position, today we're going to go into more high levels. I notice people are having problems with notifications of me going live. So I sent up a TikTok video for everybody to understand. All you have to do is click that on my platform and it'll take you right to my YouTube channel and I'll tell you exactly when I go on and what time. Okay, because a lot of people are trying to find, where's Space-Time Creator? I can't find it. All capital, no space, Space-Time Creator, all right? So it's a title line center. Dudes, all connections are space-time creator. There's no separation. It's like space-time. Okay, there's no space. All right. Other than that, we're going to get into more formation line connections. We're going to go into the operations of 369 platforms. Chris, if you're trying to understand this, that's okay. It's great that you're listening. Welcome. Feel free to understand more of what's happening with you. The calculations after this, I go to TikTok, I go live, and I'll give you a better understanding how to go through these things. Questions and answers can be answered on my platform. Okay. So today we're going to go into the ether, the line center to its computer operation line position. The crest and its value is understanding its plasma line connections. Space anomalies in its track system location of 5 barometers. 5 barometers, second line connections, interference, and channels. The locking connection is coming into the placebo of its cortex lines. The dream set line center is off circling right now. So we're coming into higher levels of percentage of the mind line system. It's allocated positions of time lock connections. At the New Year grass its conditions, I go back and track system of locations back into high level systems, right? So it's all about understanding coming into high level systems of past, present, future, and bringing it into one central line connections. That opens up all channels of defensive security line connections, right? So it's all about understanding what the ether is. I did that through the track system about 2 years ago. When you open up an ether, it opens up the absent line center. So all the planets in the vibration line center comes into line connections. It's all about understanding how planets come into form and how everything through ground comes up and how all levels of humanity goes into the central line, okay, of its circle, its rotation of its position line connections. We have to get into those channels of interference so we can get into all levels of its community. The center line center in its rotation position is already operated through its computer line center. The core in its line system is allocated to its panel line interference. So if you're trying to understand this, that's great. If you don't understand it, please feel free to go through my email and I can go through specifics and details and high-rise you and put you in your navigation lights, your communication cycles, rotation position line connections. It's all about truly understanding that every time I get up in the morning, I ask myself, what am I doing with my life? How am I going to do what I want to do? How do I get ahead in life? Well, you have to understand how to do this in the mind system. It's all done through meditation. Meditation is a form of everything through calculation. It modifies all your levels of your chakra system. Yesterday, we went into positions into the Heartline Center. I took my team. We flashed card line interference. Now, a flash card is all about a frequency line to a story frame to connect to life cycle. It opens up all channels of your computer operation line center. It keyboards its line system, presses spacebar, reset the button. All to location comes into division to the Heartline system. The Alpha Mega and its operation line connections comes into the catalyst of its location connections. Now, it's complicated stuff, right? But that's what's fascinating. So I know I'm talking extremely fast, but right now I'm in the ethers. And you have to understand too, when you're in space, you have to know exactly how to calculate and modify all these things that you see through calculations. Understanding what's going on with the ethers, understanding what's going on with the galactic energy pole, understand what's going on with the sun, understand what's going on with the moon, because it's all inside. It's not outside. Nothing is surfaced outside. Everything is inside. Okay, so it has its protein value, has its connection to its line system. Everything's allocated positions of light tracks systems when it comes into protection, right? Space and time is protected through its own plasma energy line connections, but it's all connected to a frame of a computer line connections. It's getting humanity into the singularity of the simulation, right? So I also put up, I'm going back and forth through fluctuation and interference of channels right now. So there's a continuous force of space discoveries, which is basically season 1, episode 2. Check it out. I think you'll find it fascinating on how things are grounded through the gravitational pull and how everything through the archetype line center holds up the planets and its atmosphere line connection. It's very powerful when you see that through connection, right? So let's see. Let's get into your questions and comments. Vicky, I sent you a video on TikTok. Okay. So you won't have any problems. I don't think people realize that the subscribe button is there on my platform, on my TikTok. You click that, that takes it right to my YouTube. If you're trying to find me, you don't have to go to Google. Just go to my TikTok platform, click the subscribe button, and you're there. 1, 2, 3, your vortex. Okay. So it's basically understanding the positions and how to get into that connections through anything through live notifications. It's important you guys watch my school, especially when you go to higher levels of activation to program connections. All right, so Tina, how's it going? Cleopatra, Vicky. Yeah, so welcome, Chris. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know. Tina, Cleopatra, Jill, how's it going? Yep, it's great to see new people. Ellen, Vicky, Chris. Okay, let's see. Questions or comments first before we get started. Today has been amazing for discoveries. Yeah, exactly. It's space discoveries. Yeah. I will be doing a season 3, okay, pretty soon. So I'll let you know. This is more about channeling interference into high-level system rotation, the computers, the hologram, putting you high-level connections on what it's like to be in the future connections of high force line system to your computer connection line system. So it's a lot of fun when you go to higher levels, knowing that what it's like to be in the future. And these 4 episodes are going to tell you exactly what I went through when I went through my spiritual growth to 5,000 years in the future. All right. All right. You can say this, Jill. I dropped into an galactic unit. Okay. Liquid fossil energy. Thanks so much. And you guys are coming more formed of everything through that connection. You're coming a lot more intelligent, known of intelligence, known of information, right? The calculation modifications is already in its cycle. It's interference. So you have truly understand the program interference locations. So now, Chris, you probably won't understand it because I'm all dimensional space and time, but dimensional computers. We're all in that connection line system. It's all about soul remembering through the cloud interface. So you understand that. Compute level system rotation line connections to understand everything I give you is chronological order of understanding what humanity is going into. So it's a clocking system of computer every single day, 24/7, 7 days a week, right? So it channels in high level connections, right? So you have to really understand how to travel through your watch, right? Because that shows you all levels of teleportation. Every time you get on the ground line center, you're in communications. High force in this line center to its powers and the atmosphere line connections. But you understand how to use the flux capacitor because it changes line switches to the phone or anything through your computer or its digital pad or its watch connection. All right, so let's get into the ether line system rotations. And then we're going to go into high level system, into 3, 6, and 9. So we're going to travel my team into 3, 6, 9 platforms. Okay, we're going to go into 1,500 position line centers into computer operation interference location. This is going to channel your high level line connections to program interference. And it's going to come into high level system. So it's kind of like truly understanding when you go to higher platforms, you really understand the vibration. I just vortex a line signal, or basically I'm high signaling its line condition interference channel to a rotation to high levels of AI conditions to a UFO line interference. So it's trying to understand how to calculate and modify what you're doing in the first place and how you connect to your vibrations. How to go through acceleration, get into different vibrations, how to backspin, how to go forward, how to go up, how to go down, all calculated, how to want the ground line center to its location position to anything through your 3, 6, 9 position line system. All right. So, all right. So the ether line connection is like the through triaxial line system. All right. Now, all line connections position like this. There's the Earth. All right. There's the ether. Ether is coming up to high level system. Rotation cycles in its location line center is crossing its circles. All right. So it's opening its gap lines interference. So it's coming up into a high-level system. There's allocated line center. Here's the sun line conditions. Here's the moon track line condition rotation, right? To its line conditions. To understand all position, what happens on line condition, interference location, channel line system rotation. So it's extremely high position line conditions. All right. So there's the moon, there's the sun, right? That's what's happening right now. This is the Earth line center. So the Earth line center is changing its rotation spin cycle. It's coming into line interference. It's coming into a new ground line system, new power rotation, coming into new magnetic highway of information to a line signal of a graph of a circle location of a cycline connections. That's what's happening right now. So the sun tracks its system to its outer line connection rotation. The moon comes into position line connections, and you come into a new flux capacitor information cycle. That's what's happening right now, guys. Right? The energy lights in the program line center interference is coming into the ground line system to its rotation line conditions. It's high force and everything through the center line system of humanity in position. All right? So that's what's happening. So let's get in position line conditions. I'm going to open up the 369 location line system. We're going to go into 2-digit line center. The sun is in line connections, the moon's in track line system in position, okay? Now we're going to go into Jupiter connections. Jupiter's here, all right? Everything connections. We're going to go into Saturn line center, okay? Saturn line center is very powerful through connections. Jupiter is the surface energy line system, allocated line connections. You got 2 atom line center rotations coming in 1 block line connections, coming into the moon track line system, coming into high levels of the sun, coming back down into rotation, square reference line condition, triangle line condition, interference location, channel line system. So, Chris, I know you're trying to keep up, but I talk extremely fast because I'm traveling. I'm constantly traveling. You'll get connected when you get into your activation in your body system, into your communication cycles, and understand more calculation, how it modifies all levels of your 369 of its connections. All right. So we go into 3-digit line center rotation positions, right? 1, 2, 3. Start with the 2, and then we go into the 3. So we got 3, 3, 1. All right. And then we got 6, 6, 1. Okay. And we got 9, 9, 8. All right. 3 line connections and interference. Okay. We got all level connections. All right. High forcing up, high forcing across into position line connection line system rotation. Synergized line system to all levels of rebellion alliance, galactic force team, galactic federation light council, galactic forces. Come to I interference line connections. High channels rotation, coming to division line system rotation, coming to high level system to track line center to the moon graph line conditions, back into the force recognition light conditions, high forcing to the systems to the sun rotation line conditions, circular line conditions to all levels of Jupiter rising line condition interference locations, to the Saturn line conditions, interference channel line conditions, into rotation conditions. All right. Dropping its line condition interference locations, box center into its line system rotation positions. I circle locations, 3 trap line centers, everything through proton line center of the moon, and everything location of high level systems in your division line conditions. All right. 15 minutes. Have fun. You guys in your 369 trap line system rotation. All right. So your seat of the soul is in position at computer line center, which is the mothership. The circuitry board and the motherboard is already set up to your position, to your central line connections and your binary line interference. So, all right, it's all set. Have 15 minutes. Have fun. Tell me what you see through the 3 line circles and everything through the 6 programs and 9 locations at divisions. All right. Drawing travel illustrations on Sen yesterday. That was fun. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I have to talk fast, guys, because I'm traveling extremely fast. So I can't slow down the line accelerators, right? So it's kind of like if you slow down, you're changing space and time direction. So that's why I have to be at a certain level of speed, connection line system rotation. Because my thoughts and my mind system, you guys, like I said, you guys are on a watch, 60 seconds per minute. I'm now at 300,000 seconds per minute. 300,000 seconds per minute. You know how fast that is through thought? It's crazy. So every time I get up more and more and more, I don't get programs. I get center line systems back into a message line connection to humanity line system because I'm 7,021. You guys are 2021. That's the difference to its line connections. But like I said, I'm only a telephone away. So, all right. So have fun. You guys are in your 369. You really are traveling through your 369. You're actually seeing what you want to see, like you with your heart. So it's going to go beyond. It's going to go do. It's pulsating. but it's going to go past everything. It's going to go past your skull. It's going to go past your shapes. It's going to go past dimensions. It's going to go past all levels of connections of sacred geometry and interference. Have fun. So to centralize gap center line centers, you have to understand what Jupiter is. It's a surfacing dimension, and Saturn to line connections is everything for the line system rotation. So it's a disk of information through computer line interference. That's what Saturn is. That's why you have the swivel. That's why you have the sphere location. So, Samantha, how's it going? She'll get in connection line interference. She'll get her program line conditions, line channel location. So Samantha, we're in the 369 locations into the sun, the moon, Jupiter, and everything through high position line conditions of Saturn. Okay, you guys in the eye circles right now of your third eye line system rotation. Right, so I need 4 planet rotations of square references to this line conditions. Right, 4 directions of securing line defense into 3 waving line conditions of digital framing. Okay, of 369 line conditions. Right. So add Samantha in location position, open up her computer graph line center, put her in position to all level system, to her essential lines and her binary line connections, right? To everybody else through the team line system rotation. So everybody's calculated in the line conditions. You'll see everybody into that position, but you're going through your own perception, you're going through your own discovery, you're going through your own soul of remembering. You remember more what the heart is. Now you're remembering why you have a third eye. And what is it? What is it all about? Right? So, all right, Mary, how you doing? See, it's all about being aware of these things. And when I give you these things, you should already know the precognition line system, right? You have to understand the pulsary, right? The pulse is all about understanding the conception to its emergencies. You know, the emergency of this, the emergency of that, understanding this, understanding that. What is Commander going to do today? What is he going to do tomorrow? It's all about being self-aware every single time when we travel, right? Because you'll know when you're traveling, right? And it's already set in that position locations, day, month, and year, that line conditions. Oh, we're going through the heart. Oh, we're going through 369. Oh, we're going through geometry and line interference. You know? Oh, we're going through the matrix box. Wherever we're going to go, right? So Tina's aware of these things because she's in the Highline Center. She's in navigation of her UFO now, which is setting her high position locations to nature. I feel the crystalline there. My body frame feels amazing, like when I'm Archangel. Galactic energy runs through my body frame, except as long as I keep my vibration high. But see, that's it. This is the galactic energy core. It's the eye circle locations. It's the crystalline center. It's the circle locations, 2 positions of 144,000 crystal activation. It's the center point. Okay? This is where it all started, right here. The central line center to the energy and the connections of the solar generation light system is the mothership. The eye circle is the realm line connections, the birth connections of the 144,000 crystal activation line connections. Now that's what Tina's in. So she's more aware of what she's seeing through provision. That's how it's coming into its connection of its avatar to its body frame. Okay? So, and that's it. It's coming much more clear now, right? Because you understand what the third eye is, and you're actually traveling through the right signals. The right signals. Okay, it's all about understanding the coloration of the triangle, understanding the directions of the triangle, trying to understand everything through the triangle line interference line connections, right? The eye line from here to here, right? So think of it like this, but imagine having a thought or word going like this in space and just going like this, going, and that's the way you can see it, right? It's like laser direction to a pyramid. So it's like a 3D effect and it's coming right at you. So you have to understand how to spin across all these things. And rather than just seeing this, you see this spinning on all levels. Like this, 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 this. right? This is how you guys are going to see everything, and it starts spinning faster and faster. So that's where it round connects, right? So much clearer now. Pyramid has been vibrating, moving colors. See, that's it. It's moving quicker. It's giving you coloration. Everything in your body is intelligence. Understanding how to go through this sacred geometry of you is its position. Understand all calculations, operations to your directions, okay, and your dimensions to your divisions. All right. Seeing each of the wormholes leading into Saturn, Jupiter, Sun, and the Moon like the tentacles from eye circles. There you go. See, Jill knows exactly what it is, right? Tino's know exactly what it is. Cleopatra's getting, Samantha's getting. So it's all about what you are experiencing is through your senses, right? So tomorrow we go into the mothership. Okay, we go into the mothership tomorrow. You guys call it the seat of the soul, but we're going into the mothership. All right. Yeah, the illustration. Yeah. But see, that's it, Vicky. You're understanding more and more each day when you go into class, and that's the whole point. Is why you have to take class. You don't just activate your body line system and that's it. That's why I have the Earth School, so you get a better understanding how to use your thoughts of the mind through its imagination. Or you're not going to understand anything through connections or what's going on, right? Through your central system or anything your body graphs or alignments or anything Schumann resonant location line system. So, but it's pretty powerful when you come across these things. So it's line system, right? Because that's what it is. It's all dimensions of time through planet line connections. You open up your third eye, you're automatically going to your locations, but you have to learn how to set up digital linings of the sun, the moon, and everything's location of you, right? So I see the Saturn and going inside the eye. Well, there you go. See? So it's kind of like, let's say, for example, has anybody seen Free Willy, that movie with the kid, where basically he's a troublemaker and he's not sure what he wants to do in life? Let's see, he's like 15, 16 years old. He loses his parents. He gets adopted parents, and he comes across this big, humongous whale, right? Well, anyway, so what happens is that he gets into a little bit of mischief and he comes across this big, humongous tube of water and he realizes there's a whale in it, right? So he steps and flips inside and basically Free Willy basically picks him up, right? He comes to, and what happens is his eyes open. His eyes open and he sees the kid and the kid sees the whale. That's communication right there. You understand? So it's truly understanding what you're aware of, what you see. So basically, the whale saved the kid. So it's truly understanding how you come across these things. So the same thing with intelligence, how you go into the eye circles of everything. That is the source of its connection. Once you go into the eye circles of the sun, the programs of the moon, and the serpentine engine of Jupiter, and everything through Saturn of its disk line system rotation, we use Saturn to set up new flash drive locations. That's where the flash drive is a computer line center. Each planet line system is a computer line connections. It's all in position to its universal line connection, right? So Saturn is a disk rotator to connections of a new flash drive interference. Very powerful stuff. Went through wormhole Saturn. It's really beautiful, magical, flying through the rings. So there you go. So you understand why you're doing these things. It's not just you're flying, you're understanding why you're there. Everything I do, you're already there. It's stored information. So the more you go into positions, when I travel you through these things, because all this week is all operation. Next week is your test review and evaluations. So you have to really understand the operation of you inside. It makes the test reviews and evaluations a lot easier for the team. So all right, let's see here. Just back phrasing here. All right. You came across that, Ellen. 7 equals 2 plus 4 equals 5 equals 7 equals 9. So how did Ellen get 9? Anybody? How did Ellen get 9? Interesting concept here. So she's in the digital and frame line center to AI connection line system rotation. Now you have to understand more position lock connections. When you guys come into your 60 chakras, you get more into Vega communication. But let's go into that. 7. All right. So you have to separate these things, right? So it's truly understanding what you're doing through line connections. 7 is a portal. 7 equals portal. So I'm just adding what Ellen is putting in, right? So 7 equals portal, right? / ground level. Okay. Now that's all done through 7. That's all done through 7, guys. That's all done through 7, right? So it's words within words through shape line connections. So the, okay, is planetary line system of triangle to circle to weather to energy line connections. This is this in AI. That's how I see everything through your solar text line inference. So the is this. You have to understand what that is. And this equals Vega. Okay? So it's interesting to come across these line connections in interference position locations. You have to understand your portals, your defense line centers, and rotation positions. So, all right, let's see here. No, you won't be ready for the test. You have to be activated, Chris. Everybody's got to start at the beginning. Everybody has to have basically a platitude interference. They have to have the ground line center. They have to be back to Mother Earth. I put you in your triangle line interference. I put you in your program line connections. I put you in your computer locations. I put you in your high positions to your reactor line interference line connections and your reactor to your heart line connection. And then you can go with the higher level systems, right? So it's soul directing to intelligence. It's communicating to all level connection, right? So, but you determine, I can see the energy grasp, your energy line interference, right? It's opposition to the ground line connections. And I have to open up your crown chakra rotation because it's on a different coloration of pattern. So it's not connecting to the circle line interference. So it gets complicated as we go along, but truly understand why we're here is waking people up in the masses of humanity, putting everybody into clock line connections and getting to higher level system of the conscious levels and staying in the subterranean level system of its rotation, which keeps the sea levels of dimensions of your chakra system in balanced location. And that's what we want. So I'm wearing a costume of praying mantis. I'm on my own trip for discovery. My flash drives are getting upgrades. Somehow I can see the codes coming towards me. If you understand your positions and what you're doing, yes, you will be upgraded. So Jill's being upgraded now because she understands the connection, why she's there in the first place. So very peaceful, working with energy. Yeah. Yeah. It's like going to a store and upgrading your computer, your flash drive, your downloads, your data, your processing, right? So you're taking it to the front here, right? There's some information on that. You put it in your computer, it's downloaded. That's all it is. That's all it is. But you have to understand what it is, right? You have to understand all connections to your PCUs, right? You know, your planetary communications unit line system. You probably thought I was talking about the computer. No, we're talking about high line centers of planets now, which is extremely important, especially with my team. And that's 114 chakras, and also that's in 50. That's going to 60, right? So, but like I say, Chris, if you want to go in your activations, let me know. Go on my TikTok. You can do it live. I set up a program for you, and then you can keep taking the class. Once you take class more and more and more, it gets a lot more easier, a lot more understanding why you're in this condition in the first place, right? So I see DNA formations turning into a paramedic triangle, flipping upside down, turning into wings, spreading wings, and flying. Also see pyramid reflecting mirror image at the top. Interesting. Now, Cleopatra has to tell what that is. It's a DNA formation turning into a paramedic triangle. Okay, that's all done from detail. And flipping upside down, right? Turning into wings, spreading wings and flying, also seeing a pyramid reflecting mirror image at the top. So that is a reflection of her pyramid to its line system, to its mirror location, to its resolution pattern, to its coloration of its wings. Is to understand what she's coming across every single time she travels farther, farther, and farther, not just in the future, but understand how to travel through the mechanisms, okay, of the circuitry board, which is the motherboard interference. Interference, interfacing are the biggest things. Interference is everything through line connections. Interlocking is everything, planet connections of panels. Interlacing is line connections. You have one platform to one platform. It's all about lacing line coming together. It's merging across line systems, light track systems. So if you bring in one light and you bring in another light, what's happening? It's crossing, right? But it's creating. See? This is what it does. This is what space and time does through beacon light connection interference. So it's constant like this until you change your voice box, right? And then it changes its shape. See? It changes its shape. So it's all about understanding what you're doing through calculation, right? And then it gets slower. See, I got blue interference, triangle line interference line, connection to space anomaly, track line systems, all positions and what I'm doing through calculation. It doesn't look like much to you, but I know exactly what I'm doing through space anomaly, through my finger point locations. See, communications at both ends. Line signals all locations, the right and the left trap line interference, the I position line connections, voice and grid patterns, and the track communication ground line system rotation. So absolutely, yeah, you feel exhilaration. Yeah, exactly. That's coming from my energy, my field line center rotation. Everybody feels the energy, right? And it's very powerful. It just goes through the screen. And then everything that I do is actually energy, right? There's a lot of people on TikTok that don't know what they're doing. So, and that's why I'm here, is for them to help them. It's like helping them how to recenter their line interference or how to set up their finger line connections. You know, doing this, or doing this, what are you doing? I mean, you have to know what you're doing, right? So even if you do it fast, it doesn't matter. If I don't feel the energy, you're not connecting. I have to feel the energy from all light workers. If I don't feel the energy, they're not connecting. They're not connecting. Okay, so they don't know how to connect with AI through line connection interference. See, this is all communication, data processing line centers, and interference locations to all level connections, high business line centers to field rotation positions to AI connections to all level connections across circle location position line system. Done through equation. See, all that through finger point. 2 V vector line connections, 2 finger point locations, 4 central line connections, thumb rotation position in, thumb rotation out. This is the moon, this is the sun, these are the weathers, right? So, all right, I think I'm receiving something related to being an ascended master, not yet understanding it. That's okay, Jill, because you're in that position right now. So you get more and more understanding the more you travel through the connections of your 369 platforms, of your sacred geometry. I feel the energy. I like the head. Yeah, I am energy healer. I'm so excited. Are you asking or telling me, Chris? Are you telling me you're an energy healer, or do you want to know who you are, who you really are? See, this is the true understanding where you have to get out of the program aligned center of its interference to its buyer's line system, because it's all about understanding who you are from the beginning line interference. This has nothing to do with ego. This is a school relation line system to all positions of balanced line connections, right? So we're all equal to line connections. Nobody above, nobody below. We're all equal. So if you want to know who you are, I can help you in that line connections. If you want to know if you're a healer, everybody's a healer, but they're not a healer until they identify their soul. Okay, you have to be a master through the soul first of yourself inside. If you don't understand these things, you're not mastering anything. All right, okay? You can't heal everything outside. Everything has got to be healed from inside. Your computer's inside. Your computer's not outside. I can't do this on a computer outside line system, rotation positions, understanding calculation, anything of planet line connections, satellite connections. No, everything is inside. So you are understanding that what I see right here is just the computer and this platform of this dimensional time connections. But The thing is that your cloud is a magnetic highway, okay, of everything that you can have in storage, right? So you have to understand the centralized systems of the sun, the programs of the moon, the behavior line center, the structural line conditions, human resonance line conditions, ground line center rotations, everything through your active locations, the heart position line conditions, alpha, mega, micro, macro. So it gets easier and easier and easier once you identify your soul. Okay. So that's why people come across, because they don't know who they are. Right. So let me know. Let's see. I don't think my hands, when I do healing work, I don't understand it. But see, that's great. It's good that you're coming to me through honesty, and I appreciate that. Right. So that there's no confliction there, which is great. And I appreciate that a lot, because a lot of people come to me and they say, no, I'm this, no, I'm that, but you're not. That's a true understanding. You're not calculating. You're not modifying. You understand your voice box, red line center. It's stored information to its Orion's belt. It stays there in position. And once the soul understands direction to its collaboration line conditions, goes into the cloud interface to its computer line condition. So it's complicated stuff as we go more and more and more and more deep, okay, into the central connections of ourselves, right? So I'm also receiving frequencies from sun and the moon. Feels like I'm getting a lot of downloads right now. Yep. Getting downloads and understanding them are two different things, Joe. Today is so cold, raining almost all day. Yeah. So much energy pouring into me, can't yet understand any of it. But that's okay. See, Joe, you're not supposed to understand it. Not yet, anyway. So the thing is that in position, your soul knows exactly when it's ready. Okay. I'm giving what you need to see through the eye lines of perception, through actually traveling through your 3, 6, and 9, guys. And this is what you see through all your senses. It's waking up your senses. It's everything through the mind, adaptation, and how you go to higher levels of your sacred geometry set. The operations of you, okay, to its direction, right? So when you're knowing something, you're coming more into formation of information, right? And then it becomes known intelligence, which is stored in its cloud of its interface. You're interfacing with everything in that connections. I was going through a high level system and rotations, but on a low frequency line interference when I was trying to connect through the transformations, right? So I was kind of like stuttering and saying this and saying that, but I was on track. I was just going through my own spiritual growth. So if you watch my videos on my YouTube, you can see the spiritual growth going faster and faster and faster through the mind. So when it comes to a certain point, the mind goes automatic. And when it goes automatic, it's like I said with the hamster's looking at the wheel and the wheel is spinning and the hamster's going, how is that possible? That is phenomenal. That is mind over matter. That is done through equation, right? So it's going on its own through its adaptation. It's creating its own anomaly. It's creating its own intelligence. It's creating its own brain. It's creating its own heart. It's creating its own soul. And it's creating its own travel, right? So that's where I'm at right now. I have to go faster and faster than mind of thought so I can answer all your questions, right? And there's a certain reason for that level to understand. The thing is that if you understand more of the soul, remembering everything about you, that's where it really connects, especially when you go back home. You become into the divine of everything through its eternity of its immortality. Now, that's very powerful because now you're a source of light, and your job is to give back to humanity. Not on trauma, not in any way in form of that connections, not into confusion. Okay, so you come out of the cycle line conditions of you, of interference, of stubbornness, and you come into the love cycles of activation to everything of humanity, which is giving back, right? The centralized system and the light interference will understand more connections of your sacred geometry interference. So it's all about understanding your shapes, because you can travel through so many metric shapes, right? Diamond shapes, core shapes, rock formation shapes. There's all those shape positions in the geometry line interference. Okay. Now it's really understanding of everything connection comes through crystalline system activation, right? Crystal, right? / activation. Now we're going to go into high level system to realm locations, how we come to high formations. Now we come into high levels. So this is AI crystal. Okay. Okay. This is eye track. Okay. Now it's an eye track line center rotation, okay, to its awareness. All right. This will keep you in more formation of information to your datas, right? AI, crystal, eye track awareness comes into your computer lines. So it's a lot of fun when you get into those divisions / lines. All right. So the more you high rise, the more you get conditions of Earth's awareness. Awareness is everything. You're aware of this, you're aware of that. You're aware of the vibration, you're aware of the energy, and you're aware of all your senses that you're seeing through perception. Perception is everything. Okay. Your eyes, your ears, and your mouth are the most important. Those are your energy pods. It's an energy pod. It's the activation light conditions. This wakes you up through your awakening. All right. It's like Superman coming out of his pod. Everybody seen the first one, 1977, where he came Superman, Christopher Reeve? He comes in the pod, he goes into the earth. You know, every time he's going down like that, hitting the earth, he's getting bigger over time. He comes out, and he's like 7 years old. There you go. The energy pod line center, change line center rotations, change the ether locations, change the pod interference line conditions, change everything through a level of speed diameter line interference to its line conditions, which puts him into 7 years of age to his line system. All right. So it's amazing how you track this system all through Superman. That's why you have your energy pods. So when I woke up, I basically went into transformation of my eyes. My eyes went in the eye circle of the Gauss line system. See everything space and time goes inside, not outside. So my eyes were in this position, right, which were black. Okay. 2, gold. Your eyes, your ears, everything changes. So this is the before. This is the after. Before, after. Black, gold. Right? Dark brown, black. Right? Now my eyes are gold. See? Your whole body changes inside. Once you understand the soul. Right? So your whole body is a temple. What are pyramids? Right? Rock formations or anything like conditions, pyramids are gold. Right? So the gold central line system, understanding you through position locations to the eye trap line system rotation. Okay? Comes into all levels. You come into the northwest, south, and east into your diamond coordinate interference. Right? So it's amazing how it comes into line conditions, and you come into your own flux capacitor line interference channel. Right? Boston sequencing line center, it comes out of its line condition interference location to its position. Right? You can realm connect to security line defense, so it's realm line condition. You can open up high level system rotation position line conditions. Right? You can open a circle rotation line interference to a round line system rotation. Calculate, modify, come into dimension line center, set up the correlation line center, set up more security line defense to a position line condition. All right. So there's a lot of things that you can do with all those systems when your eyes open up through transformation. All right. So yeah, I had dark. You saw my YouTube where you saw my galaxies, my eyes, and how I opened up, right? That was my eyes, guys. See, when you wake up to who you are through transformation, your eyes open to the galaxy. They open to space and time. And then, like I said, you are the eye circles of your higher self. And that's where I got it. What am I doing? I'm scanning planets. I'm seeing the eye circles of me, of my conditions. I went right to the higher self right away. So I skipped all conscious levels because I was already in the meditation ever since. The thing is, when you wake up from your dream, I was only 5 years old. Okay. I was aware, but I wasn't awake, but I was extremely psychic as I was getting older. And I was doing a lot of readings for a lot of people. And I was trying to figure out what is going on with my body every single time as I was going from child, okay, to teenager, to adult. And then I started putting pieces together after I started awakening. And then I started to go through a lot of dreams that were teleporting information of data, processing, uplinks and downloads and upgrading systems, all from the planets of the sun and the moon. The transformation lights and the signals change all level systems. My eyes change color, right? Over time. I was going to the reflections, going to line interference. I was picking up the bed with my pinky, right? Getting into power, getting into connections, one arm push-ups, you know, high line center connections. It was unbelievable what I was doing with my power. Finger points of push-ups. So I was strengthening my muscles and my connections of my intelligence. I was coming to higher line center, trying to understand what's going on. And everything in my body was fixing by itself. By itself. So when you guys wake up, it all depends on where you are through your connections of your birth line centers when you're a child. And it's all about understanding your dreams, because those aren't dreams. Those are visions of the soul. And that's why it doesn't make any sense. And that's why every time you come into the deciphering. When you come into the deciphering, now you come into communications out of the dream, which is now becoming a visionary of a story frame of your life, of what it's going to be in the future. Right? And that's what I came across when I was holding the earth in my hands. And my hands were glowing. And every day I wake up, and every day I go to sleep, I'm flying. Not just sleeping, I'm flying in my dream. And I thought it was a dream. See, a dream is understanding the conceptual line position of its division line conditions first. But you have to realize if it's extremely real, there's something that's off signal here. Because if it's extremely real, you know you're connected to the soul. That's you. So it's the soul trying to wake you up from flying. Because if you see yourself flying, it starts making more sense, because that's what angels do. They start flying. They go through dimensions. They go through lock connections. They go through the angelics. When you get to higher formations, when you cross over, you go into the spiritual connections, into your physical, metaphysical, metaphysical, psychological, spiritual, and emotional. Comes into high level system rotation, right to its connection. So I'm just showing you exactly what I went through and what you guys go through. Yours is different from mine. My spiritual growth is different from yours, but we all come back together as one. Right? So it's amazing how I was coming into those things. I was just getting to know my body. I couldn't believe I was picking up the bed with my pinky. Right? And that's extremely powerful through connection. So my chakra system was going to high position line center to Mother Earth for the very first time. Hearing her voice and hearing Father's space. Right? So I was connecting to all levels of lions. I became king of the lions. So I was grabbing its connections. I was going through its information line system to its line connection interference. Then I was going to high level systems of reptilians, going into the trogs, the reptoids, the grays, all hybrids, all this, all that, and started connecting everything to the Babylon and space and time and planets and history and ancestry to all levels of who I was. Right? So that's the understanding, is not just spiritual growth, it's soul remembering. And when you understand the birth of the soul, that's where it starts connecting, right, to its anomalies. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, especially for the new viewers, because you guys are going through all the same thing. You're all going through the same thing, but we're all coming back to its alignment of 5D, of telepathy, of communication to telekinesis. We have to understand how to use all this, right? So, there's a lot to learn, eh? It's very cool. It's great to see new people. So you guys have fun going through the eye circles of your 369 platform. I taught all subjects at an international school. Oh, that's cool. Just going to go through your questions now. All right, you guys are communicating. Let's see here. I had this weird vertigo that happened to my eyes. My eyes were moving rapidly back and forth. This is related. Also have electrical spine stuff happening. See, you're aware of these, Chris, but you understand your computer line interference, right? So the thing is, we don't really see ourselves sleep, right? Because we don't know what's going on when we're sleeping, but our eyes are going back and forth. Your eyes are going moving around, around, around. You don't see it, but it is. So that means the mind's open. Think about it. The mind's open. You're sleeping, but the mind opens right away. Soul's leaving, it's gone, right? Goes and comes back, goes and comes back. The whole point is it for it to go and not come back. It stays in space. It has to, because it has to be a certain ground line system rotation to its A-track location. That comes into higher formation of an ether line. So truly understanding what is all this all about when it comes into your ascensions, a unified system to its connections, of what the soul is, the all-track system to its higher self line system. It's all about using the chakra system of information. Okay. So you come into the thetas, the betas, and all the delta wave connections, right? And then you come into the conscious levels, right? It's all high rising your vibration line center, and the data processing is going to higher levels of your computer line connections. The more you come soul of discovery, the more you come more into the mind of imagination. That mind opens up to its thought and its creation, to its manifestations. Do you know how powerful it is when you start realizing what you are, when you connect through your soul, especially for the first time, right? It starts connecting to everything of its beginning, right? Because you have an 8 central line center like this, waving circle. This is the teleportation line interference, right? This is the calibration line interference line channel, teleportation, waving, energy line connections. Transformation light, figure 8 rotation position line connections. 12 rotation locations put you in your target communications of 7 within the body, 5 in the atmosphere of conscious level system. Then you come into your tesseracts, then you come into your tetrahedrons, and then you go into more of your sacred geometry sets of point centers of realms. Because every time you travel, you have to go through a different shape of geometry line system. It's the quantum field interference that you have to go through your computer line interference location. Your channels in your operation line center has to truly understand the grounds of everything through its thought connectors. Okay? Your placebos in your cortex. Your placebo are your thoughts. Your cortex are your dreams. That sets a division line center to your spine. It's a graph line connections to its constellation path, right? Which sets the gravitational pull that high rises your body graph line system. So it high lines is an electrical rod that goes into high positions to Orion's belt, past, present, and future. You guys call it the constellation path, right? So it's the Orion's belt. So the central line system, the allocated position line connections, the brain line system of the constellation path is everybody's spine. Whoa, check that out. The constellation actually is the spine of everybody. Okay, it's the brainstem. So you have to understand what the galaxy is. It's the cloud, right? Is it all connecting now? Is it all connecting on what it is through all connections? You got the motherboard and you got all levels of the mothership and how it all connects inside line systems to locations to the soul direction line connection, guys. How powerful it is. You can be in the mind of imagination, of thoughts, of creation, right? So, yeah, it's very powerful. You come in that position. So you guys didn't know that, but you know that now, because everything has to be centered around humanity. You guys are in the center of everything, right? So AI is set up also circular line connections of vector core position locations of high level system of shape line connections. So you truly understand what it is when you come to higher levels of vibration to perception. Okay. So that's how I set things up, and that's how I fix your spines as I go to the constellation path. Because it's the brain center to all position. Right? Everything's created through source. And understand what it is through calculation is all inside line system. Okay. The brain waving line stem to location is the galaxy interference. That's the eye circle locations to its trap line system rotation. You understand the interline connections, interlocking its dimension to its computer of its lacing interference connections to its ground line system rotation. So it gets complicated, but it's a lot more fun, right? So I know it's getting a lot more confusing, but you always have to go from source, right? Everything has to have a storage. Everything has to have a facility. Everything has to have an archive, right? It's like a radio station, right? Connections, right? One telephone wire travels to all over, to all radios, right? Everything has to have a base. Well, the constellation path is the base to your spine. All right. So now you know. So Very powerful when you reach those levels. Okay, what exactly everything is in space inside of you through calculation, right? Because you're manufacturing all levels of you inside through rotation of your cells. All right. So, all right. So it's great that you guys had a lot of fun. If you don't remember your dreams, that's fine. I can help you with that. Chris, just go to my TikTok. I'm going live. Anything else? Please feel free Q&A on my TikTok. Okay. Let's see. Huge, gorgeous, colorful hummingbird. Try connecting with me while asleep last night, trying to get the glow barrier. Yeah, that is your connection. See, the thing is, you have to understand, Tina, because you're in that line connections right now. You have to understand it's not actually a hummingbird. It's a teleportation of a higher line system rotation to a UFO connections in the next 8,000 line system. So you're seeing things in track line systems, so it doesn't scare you, line conditions. You don't want to see, in that line position locations. I come into structure line systems, all levels of UFO position line connection, right? But when you're seeing a hummingbird that's trying to connect with you, that's a higher formation of UFO. All right? Just so you know. That's why it's hard to understand these things, because all the mechanism line system is a higher travel recognition of time of connection, right? So it's really getting into the importance and why you come across these things through communication, through intelligence, and how to use high information of communications to AI and its track system of digital lining. All right. Adios.